Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever it is you may be. What it is, what it do with the whoop whoop. It is me, it is her, it is she, it is I, it is Miss Tamika Renee Bly, back with another episode on Uncomfortable Conversations. I hope everyone is doing well. I am doing fantastic. Okay. Um, I had a great weekend. Okay. Friday, I did Top Golf with my big sis and her husband. I won. If you follow me on Instagram, I posted it on my story. I won twice, Shout out to Mo and Saz, like I got y'all the next time. But I definitely won. And who knew that I was a little good at golf? Who knew? Who knew? um, right, so that was Friday. I did Top Golf. Had a great time. Saturday, my family one of my family's birthday. So that was nice too. And yeah, I had a nice little weekend. I hope you all had a nice little weekend. And I would like to bid everyone a great start to their week. Yeah, I feel like I missed something there, but I'll figure it out. So, the quote of the day is simple. Enjoy the little things. You know, do what makes your soul happy. I posted that on my story because I felt like it was nice and it resonated. Do what makes your soul happy and enjoy the little things, okay? And the affirmation for today is also simple. I strive every day to be the best version of myself. I strive every day to be the best version of myself. I strive every day to be the best version of myself. Okay. Yeah, that's that. So listen, right? Why is why nowadays are more men in competition with women? Furthermore, it's the men in competition with their spouses. You know what I mean? I don't understand. Like I just I'm struggling with that. We all know nobody should be in competition with nobody but themselves, yada yada yada. But imagine not knowing that the person you're laying next to every night or however y'all lay um, is secretly preying on your downfall. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. It just makes me want to more and more be and stay to myself. I mean, of course there are a few who I give my time and energy to, but I know them already. It's the unknown that makes me skeptical. I already know him and I know that he's rooting for me, but goddamn, what if I meet someone new and he's not where he's at in his life, so he's secretly becoming envious of me and what I have going on. I don't know. I just, what? What? Like, no. Because the problem is I want everybody to win and not everybody want me to win, and that's okay. But don't try to sabotage okay, my Ten of Pentacles, because your energy is just I'm just tired of the shit, and it's just giving me more reasons to I don't want to say to not like people. No. Because what that sounds like is, okay, well, hey, I don't like people and this is why. No. For the people that display that behavior, it just gives me more reasons to fall back from that type of energy. You know, like, again, pay attention to the way people show up for you. Pay attention to the way people comment on when you like, let's say you are, where am I? Brain fart. When you achieve a successful milestone in your life, right? When you accomplish something that you say you're gonna accomplish, be mindful of how people congratulate you. Like, it's just wild. It's just wild. Like, I know I talked about this before, but I just felt the need to talk about it again because it's wild. WILD. Like, not that a man is not supposed to hate on a woman, because clearly anybody can hate on anybody. For me, it's just like, damn. Like, it's a lot of weak, broken, uh, insecure, grown men who still operate with the mindset of a boy. And I feel it's the insecurities, it's the fact that some people, maybe, again, this is just my opinion, maybe because some people are in stuck energy, so when they see you outgrowing them, now it's, how dare you, who do you think you are, trying to be better than me, when in reality, for me, I'm not trying to be better than nobody but the 16-year-old Tamika. You know what I mean? The 18-year-old Tamika, the 21-year-old Tamika. Like, that's it. People. It annoys me having to deal with people who are not aware. Aware of themselves, aware of what it is they need to do to prosper in their life. It really annoys me, because for me to have that awareness, it's like, how in the entire F do you not see the energy that you're in is not working for you? What? Okay, so today I'm going to tap into anxiety. Okay. Anxiety smitey. I got diagnosed with panic disorder when I was 22. Now let me tell you what happened. Okay, so if you watched the last episode, I talked about how I cheated, woo woo, bam, got pregnant, woo woo, learn, bam. So I started smoking when I was 19. Not a heavy smoker, but I just would smoke with my son's father. I would just smoke with him and we would chill. And my ex at the time, I would smoke with him too. But I wasn't like buying weed or anything like that, right? So now, after, well, clearly my son's 2 now. I'm an avid smoker. Now I'm 22. I'm buying my own weed. I just wanted to give you that, to give you this. So, I'm hanging with, again, I normally only smoke by myself. After smoking with the ex and the child's father, I only was a weed smoker who smoked alone. I did a lot of facials. So now, I'm working at Home Depot. I think this is 2010. No, it can't be 2010. 2011? Because I'm 22. 2011. I'm working at Home Depot. Somebody that I went to high school with is also working there. I'm like, oh shit, look at you. Whoop, whoop, whoop. So now, I know somebody. You know what I mean? I know somebody at work. He smoked. What you doing after work? Alright, cool. I'm staying with my mom at the time. I remember him and I would smoke all the time. Like literally after work, he's pulling up. We're smoking. He's going home. This night, right? I remember we both got off work at the same time. And we're in the room smoking. My son is in my mom's room, sleep. And I just start to feel I like literally this like impending doom. Literally, like it felt like in one split second my heart started beating really fast. My palms started getting sweaty. Um, it literally I was, although I was sitting still, it felt like I was literally bouncing. Like it felt like I was going from here to there to there to there. It felt like I was doing this. It felt like I was doing this. Literally, but I'm sitting still the whole time. I go in the bathroom because at first I didn't alert my friend, right? Immediately though, I thought, oh my god, he laced the weed. But I've been smoking with him like for months now. You know, like, you know my family. Why would you try to purposely hurt me? I'm paranoid now, so I'm thinking he did something to the weed. So again, I didn't say nothing to him. I'm feeling all of this, but I go to the bathroom because I'm like, I'm probably just too high. That's what I thought. I'm too high. I go to the bathroom. I'm wiping water on my face. Like, I think at one point I removed my shirt and, you know, just started patting myself down with water, cold water, because I'm like, maybe I need to, the effects of the really, really cold water will wake me up. So I'm just whoop, 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 whoop at the sink. And I'm like, no, I don't feel no change. Like, I'm about to die. I literally thought I was having a heart attack. I go in my mother's room. Actually, no. My homeboy come out because I guess I was in the bathroom for too long. And he's like, T, what's up? You good? Like, what's up? I'm bugging. I'm bugging. I'm panicking at this point. I'm bugging. And he's telling me, he's like, nah, chill. Like, wow, don't think I laced the weed. Like, I would never, like, T, because he's so soft spoken. I would never, like, no. And he told me, you're having a panic attack. It happened to me. You just gotta calm down. You gotta breathe. I didn't hear none of that shit. Like, I heard him, but no, I'm dying. I'm dying. So this is what I did, right? This is where it gets funny. I can laugh about it now because Jesus Christ. At the time, like, I was bugging. I go in my mom's room. My friend, I still hear him in my ear just telling me, like, chill, chill, like, chill. I go in my mom's room. I believe I kissed my son and I said, Mom, something's wrong with me. I think I'm dying. I'm going to call the ambulance. I'm walking back and forth in the hallway. Walking back and forth. I goes outside in my damn panties, y'all. In my damn panties. I had a shirt and panties on. I don't, like, I was fully dressed when him and I were smoking. But when I went on the porch, I had on a shirt and some damn panties. Wild. So, I'm outside. Because now, I'm like, okay, throw enough cold water on me. Let me go outside. Let the cool air, because it was the winter time, if I'm not mistaken. Let the cool air hit me. And it may, you know, snap me out of whatever this is. Because, again, I'm having a heart attack. I'm dying. Like, oh my God, what's up? I called the ambulance. I sure did. I called myself. I forget how that conversation went. But I remember I called the ambulance myself. And they came. I got in the back. I put some pajama pants on at this point, clearly. And let me tell y'all how bugged out I was. The whole time that the EMT was talking to me, first of all, shout out to them. I was so grateful because I like, not that I'm saying most EMT personnel do this, but like in that moment, I never felt like I was weird or like they were laughing at me. Like, it was a lot of reassurance, like, no, you're fine. Because I'm telling them I'm having a heart attack, and they're, explaining to me, like, well, if you can tell me that you're having a heart attack and you're, like, kind of calmly telling me you're having a heart attack and, all your vitals are, like, you're fine, like, you just got to calm your mind down, relax your mind. So the male EMT, he's asking me questions. The whole time I'm talking to him, y'all, I'm thinking, literally, I'm bugging. Oh my god! Just thinking about it. I was fucking bugging. I'm talking to the male EMT while holding my tongue. Like, I'm literally holding my tongue, like, and because in my mind, in my bugged out mind at that time, my tongue is swollen. It's swollen. Like, literally, my tongue felt so big inside of my mouth, and I know now that it was just my imagination, but at the time, my tongue felt so big inside of my mouth, I thought I was gonna swallow it. That's what I kept thinking of. Let me stick my tongue out so I don't swallow it. And I remember, like, the way he looked at me looked like he wanted to laugh, but he never laughed. So he's like, what's your name? Tamika Bly. When's your birthday? May 13, 1989. And you live here? You stay here with your mom? Yeah. And da-da-da. Like, I'm the whole time. And my friend, his name is Lloyd. My friend Lloyd was by my side the whole time. Actually, no. Lloyd drove. I didn't drive yet. Lloyd drove. So he followed. Yo. Got to BMC. I went to Boston Medical Center. Because where my mom was staying at that was the closest hospital. She was in Dorchester. So, bam. Go to BMC. They, telling me about weed smoke and explaining to me how, you can have hallucinations and all this stuff. And woo-woo. Again, I have not been smoking that long. Like, it's probably like some months in at this point that I've been smoking, but I've never had this episode. So the stuff he's saying to me about the hallucinations and stuff, the paranoia, I already know that's never happened to me in the past. So he gives me a little white pill, cup of ginger ale. I later learned that little white pill was called lorazepam. Right, it was 10 milligrams lorazepam. I felt fine, just ended up feeling sleepy once it was all said and done. I get home, I tell my mom what happened, and whoop, whoop, whoop. I still kept smoking weed. So now, right, that was an anxiety attack. I said panic. Now, because I'm now thinking every time I smoke weed, I'm going to have an anxiety attack. Guess what's happening now? Every time I'm going to light up, I'm enjoying a blunt. Some time will pass. This also stopped me from smoking with people for a little bit. Like, I was just like, I'm going to smoke my own blunts. Or I just have to see you crush the weed and roll it up with my own eyes. Wow. So now, I'm smoking still. Every time I'm smoking, I'm having these panic attacks, anxiety attacks, however we're gonna call it right now. But it's happening now every time I smoke. So I reach out to my primary care. And this goes back to, I never forget, because during this time, all I could think about was, and I believe I spoke about this on a previous episode. All I could think about was when I was in the shelter with my son, and I was assigned a therapist in that shelter. Like, all of us had to meet with, the clinician, whatever. And I remember me speaking to her and her saying to me, Tamika, like, you so strong, like you do a great job of not pretending to be okay, but just, like taking whatever's getting thrown at you and just like you don't, like she's like, you don't, like, are you sad? Like, what's the emotions behind it? Because you're not displaying any emotions. And, that led her to further let me know that that's when I became aware that I was bottling up so much. And I remember her saying, like, you're going to have to release that, or it's going to come out in a way that is unexpected to you. And it may not feel good. So she was encouraging me to talk and not to, keep things bottled up. So bam. In that moment, though, of having the episodes, I kept thinking about what she was saying to me at that time. Like, Tamika, like, you gotta let it out. At the time, I'm like, let what out? Let what out? But I got it. I had to let out the fact that I was a struggling single parent. I had to let out the fact that my home life wasn't the best. I had to let out the fact that I was neglecting myself because me being a first time mom and not having the support of the dad, I was not being mindful of the fact that I had to keep myself afloat, because if I did not, I would break and not be able to be the mom that I needed to for my son, right? I wasn't aware of any of that. So I'm holding in all these things, right? I'm getting up, going to school, going to work, being a mom, repeat, hanging out when I can. But I'm not discussing to anyone, like, how bothered I am that I'm doing this alone. I'm not discussing to anyone how uncomfortable it is for me to have to move back in with my mom, and like, because I'm a new mom and I wanted my own space. But things happened and I had to move back in with my mom, and then I ended up getting my first apartment. But I didn't speak about none of those things. I didn't speak about how a lot of things were said to me during that time. Like, one thing that bothered me during that time, which, again, like, it's never, well, it can be depending on what the one thing is. It could be one big thing. But I feel it's always an accumulation of things, It's the build up. It's the soda bottle effect, You keep shaking. The minute you take that top off, what do you think is going to happen? And I feel strongly like that's what was happening to me. Or that's what happened to me. So, ooh, I got a leg cramp. Ooh. Let me stretch the other one on out too. God. Okay. So, what I didn't speak of was how bothered I was, aside from all the other things I just named. How bothered I was knowing that when I was 19 and pregnant and told my parents that, and me and my dad, we had this conversation, but this ties into it, so that's why I'm bringing it up. When I was 19 and pregnant, my dad told me that he would never watch my child. It was his first grand. You know, my son is the first grand for my dad. And at the time he was living in New York, I'm in Boston with my mom. So I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, I mean, not that I need you to watch him, but thanks for the information. Now I know what to do with that. Now I know I'm never going to ask you to watch my son. And I never did. You know? But I held that in. I say that to say I held that in. I did not let my father know how that comment that he made bothered me. It bothered me that now I'm expressing this. I have a therapist. I expressed it to the therapist. And, you know, I told her first, you know, this is how it makes me feel. And she's like, you know, well, you have to tell your dad. It wasn't until maybe a few years went. I'm jumping. Back up. Back up, Tamika. Okay. I discussed it to the therapist, right? She put me on lorazepam. Now I'm on lorazepam. At first I wasn't taking anything. The lorazepam made me feel high, right? Now I'm starting to become dependent. I wouldn't say I was a pill popper, but I agree that I would be honest and say I started to become dependent on the lorazepam because it's about to just make me feel high anyway. So, you know what's worse, I was smoking and taking the lorazepam. It was 10 milligrams, but still was a powerful 10 milligram. So, bam. I remember what made me reach out. I'm going to get back to the father situation. I just don't want to miss any gaps. I remember what made me reach out to my, to the therapist and say, hey, I don't want to continue to take the pills. Because she kind of gave it to me just to try it out for 30 days. So it was no refills. And I told her, I don't, like, I'm good. My anxiety, because now I'm taking a pill when I'm not even having an attack. Now I'm diagnosed with panic disorder because it kept happening. On the train, on the bus, it kept happening. I kept getting the sensation that I'm about to die, that danger is near. So now, bam, I'm subscribed, bam. So now I notice I'm starting to pop these little pills, these little white pills, without me having an episode. What further woke me up was I never forget, I think I had a day off. My son was still in daycare. My boy hit me up. He said, you want to come and smoke? I said, yeah. It works out because I have to pick up my son from daycare in a few hours. And he lived like 10 minutes away from my son's school. So I said, yeah, I'm going to come through, chill with you till it's time for me to go and get my son. Along with us smoking, I popped a lorazepam. I was out. I wake up to mad missed calls. I fell asleep for so long. I didn't get, and I believe I set an alarm, but I think I clearly slept through that alarm. I did not get my son from school that day. My mom, I never forget, the school called me. I got the voicemail saying, hey, Miss Bly, is everything okay? You're normally here by now. Damani's still here. And I had missed calls from my mom too, so I called my mom back first. Because the schoolhouse was already closed at this time. I called my mom back, and she wasn't upset or anything. I remember, like, she was just like, what happened? Like, did you get too high? Because no one even knew I was diagnosed with panic disorder. None of my peoples knew I was taking the lorazepam. I think maybe my cousin knew. because he saw me have an episode one time. Like, he literally saw, like, one time I had an episode so bad I couldn't stop shaking, and I kept telling him, come sit by me, come sit by me, because if I have someone next to me, or at least at the time I felt, as long as I have someone next to me, I feel safe, right? Because if anything happens to me, well, my cousin, you're not going to let anything happen to me. But in the event that anything happens to me, whoever's there, I'm sure will seek help, right? So I always used to be like, cuz, come here. So my cousin knew. Shout out to cousin Dalvin, yo, because he locked in. So bam. My mom, she's just like, you got too high, da da da. And I told her I was so sorry, so apologetic. Like, she's like, no, I went, got my grandson, like they called me. I went and got him. He's here. He's fine. We done fed him. Da da da. It was the weekend, so it was Friday. So I remember her telling me, because I'm like, well, I'm gonna come and be with him. I'll take him off your hands, like, cause damn, this isn't like me. And my mom knew that, so she's like, you okay? You know what I mean? Like, what's going on? And I'm like, she was like, she summed it up to me just being tired. Like, you're working, you're trying to do this, you're trying to do that on top of being a parent, a single parent at that. So my mom just thought, like, you're just exhausted, stay at, your friend's house and, like, you can keep laying down if you want. And I remember clearly leaving and going to my son because I felt so bad. Like, I felt so bad. And I remember walking from Dudley Street to, my mom stayed on Lion Street in Dorchester. So I walked all the way from Dudley Street to over there, which is not a bad walk. But I remember, like, for me, that was my walk of shame. That was, now I'm beating myself up. Like, how could you? Like, what? Bam. Not the next day, because it was the weekend, Monday, that's when I called the therapist and said, look, I'm becoming too dependent on these pills. Take them off. Take me off it. And she asked me, before we do that, let's come up with an action plan. In the event that this happens again, what steps are you going to take to, like, are you going to remember to breathe? And you have asthma, so the last thing we need is for you to have an episode and it causes a flare up. And I'm like, I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to figure it out. Right? Bam. So now, that's that. Because I'm off the pills now. So I remember now she encouraged me, explain to my dad what it is that's bothering me. Because now I'm on this whole, not bucket list thing, but it's like, okay, I have to go now and tell this person what they did and how it made me feel. What he or she said and how it made me feel. Because again, unbeknownst to me, I did not know I was bottling everything in. So now I'm on this journey. It's my time to tell my dad. So now back on dad. He told me at 19 he would never watch my kid. Never could understand why that comment was made because you lived in a whole different state. Bam. I paid it no mind, but I did let it fester. So now we're going to fast forward. I'm off the lorazepam. No more attacks. Like, I pretty much just figured out. Let me talk about the dad. Then I'm going to talk about the dad. My dad. And then I'm going to explain to you guys how I learned to cope with the panic attacks. And how I'm no longer, we all have anxiety at some point. But I'm no longer diagnosed with panic disorder. So bam, I'm on this journey to release things that I've let festered inside. My dad. Not only the comment about not watching the son, but now fast forward, you're dating a woman who is younger than me. You're also dating a woman whose child is younger than your first grandson. So, I'm more vocal now. I'm more vocal now. I'm 20 something something. I got my own place. I'm paying my own bills. I'm a grown ass woman now. Let me get some shit off my chest. So, I told my dad how that made me feel. How dare you say to me, you're never going to watch my kid turn around and date someone who is, I mean, she could have been my sister, whatever. And her child was also younger than your grandchild. You know what I mean? Like, it had me fucked up. It had me fucked up. It did. We gonna place real where it need to be placed. Like, I couldn't understand that. And this is not me throwing shade on my dad. This is me talking about this. This ties into the experience. This ties into me being diagnosed with panic disorder because I was not at a place to be vocal to the people in my life as to what you guys are saying and doing is hurting me or how it have affected me. So again, me and my dad, we talked about this. I'm past this. You know what I mean? Again, it ties into the experience, so it has to be shared. Dad, ain't no shade. You already know. I don't even feel like I need to say that. Because if you know, you know. Especially if you know my character. I'm parched. Been talking for a little bit. How much? I'm good for time. Motorcycles going by. And if you don't mind, I would like to just take a hit of the blunt. Just maybe my hands. What? Jesus Christ, water bottle? Just a few little pills or whatever. A little whoop whoop with the whoop whoop. Anyway, so, I remember pulling my dad to the side and saying, it's, for you to have said what you said to me and now you're in this situation, like, I don't, and he understood, and he took accountability and all that. But for me, it still had me in the mindset of, I'm not going to ask my dad to do anything for my son. But that also let me further know, well, Tamika, if you're operating in that energy, then you're lying to yourself when you say, you spoke about it, you moved past it. That's you holding on to something. You're going to stop your dad from being a grandfather because of the comment he made in the past, and y'all already talked about it. That's where my awareness kicked in too. Now you can't operate like that. You cannot forgive someone for something and still crucify them, right? So I had to step out of that energy as well. It still it took me some time. I gotta be honest. It took me some time. Because after, like, I was pregnant when the comment was made, right? I've already been in the energy of being independent, like, I had a job since I was 14. Like, like, I want to say I was on my dad's phone plan till I was about 15, 16. And, I'm paying for everything myself. Of course, that's still dad, that's still mom. If I need something, I'm going to go. But I've always been extremely independent. I've always been the child that's going to go out and go all in for hers, period. If I need the help, I'm going to ask for it. If I can avoid asking for the help, I'm going to do that too. Right? So, I had to come to the realization that if you and your dad talked about this and you're telling yourself that you moved on from it, why are you in that mindset of, well, I'm not going to ask my dad to do anything for my son. Like he can just stay over there with her and her son and it's fine. Moves past that. I had to become aware. I had to get the shit off my chest that needed to be gotten off, and I feel like me expressing how I felt to my dad, him holding himself accountable, expressing myself to shit, my son's grandmother, the dad's mom. I said some not too kind words to her, but it was things that needed to be said, right? So I'm on this journey of telling you how you hurt me, what you said made me feel, and whoop, whoop, whoop. And for me, it felt like with every word coming out, even this ties into the best friend. The best friend that I told y'all her mom brought her to my house to fight me. All of that was happening at the same time, y'all. Me expressing to my dad, me expressing to the grandmother, me expressing to the friend how she's not being a friend. And this is what you're doing, and this is how it's making me feel. Like, you know what I mean? I'm on a whole journey of, hey, in order for me to not have these attacks, I realize I need to not let things fester. So you might not like what I'm about to say, but it has to be said. That was that time, y'all. That was that time that happened. Damn, I totally forgot that the fight happened kind of during when I was in that energy as well. So the last time I took any type of medication besides my allergy meds was maybe September 2000 and it can't be 2012 13, maybe September 2013. And I started to be mindful of how people were treating me, and I started to fall back, like I've always enjoyed being in my own energy. So if you were kind of doing some shit, it just made it easier for me to say goodbye. Like you wasn't really doing me no favor, if I'm being honest. You know what I mean? What else happened? I'm making sure I'm not missing anything that ties into the anxiety panic disorder part. Yeah. Literally, I want to say the last time I had a panic attack was I don't remember, which is a good thing. I don't remember. I can tell you the last time I was anxious, but that's different, like I'm anxious going to interviews, like normal stuff. I'm anxious when someone, I don't know, whatever. But I'm just trying to say, the last time I had a panic attack is I don't remember, which is great. I remember having the panic attack that day when I was smoking, and then every day after that when I was smoking, but I also was taking the pills, so I wasn't having the attacks. So yeah, years ago, wow, go me. Because again, I learned to change my mindset and doing all of that. I learned to be more vocal. I was not always a great communicator. I learned to, and some would look at, well, some did look at it as if I was nitpicking. Where it's like, no, I'm just telling you what you're doing, what you said. and how it made me feel. It may be small to you, but understand how it made me feel. Like, it impacted me in a big way, you know? But I also, too, now, with all the extra awareness that I've came across and that's been instilled within me, I also understand now that those people that I was trying to make aware of the way they were treating me, they were not in a space to see what they were doing and how it was affecting me. They were not in a space where they were ready to hold themselves accountable. So I don't have any hard feelings towards anybody. Like, anybody. I don't hate the ex-best friend that whose mom brought her to the house to fight me. I don't hate my son's dad. There's no malice or hate towards my dad. There's no malice or hate towards you who did what they did, or towards you or you. Like, no. Because I then realized too, like, how some people operate 9 times out of 10 has nothing to do with me and everything to do with them. So, what is it about you that made you, want to say that to me when I did not prompt you to speak to me that way or treat me that way? You know what I mean? Like, so, and this is where, too, I started to analyze people more. Like, I remember my ex-best friend giving me the name of Cuddy. She's like, cause you just always in the cut, you just chilling, woo, woo. Yeah, like, I'm very observant, you know? Even when you think I'm not paying attention, I'm paying attention. And I'm paying attention to things that people normally wouldn't pay attention to. Of course, we all say pay attention to the way people speak, the way they act. Of course, I'm paying attention to all of that. But I pay attention to a lot. Like, a lot. There's some times where I'm not even looking to see something, and it'll just be right there in front of my eyes. And because I'm so aware, I'd be like, okay. Okay. And if you're someone who, like, maybe haven't seen me in a while, I paid attention and I probably saw some shit. If you know, you know. But if you're also someone who knows me, you already know. Mika ain't with the shit. She's not. So, again, glad to say that I have not been diagnosed with anything. I have no panic disorder. I have not taken any prescription pills besides my allergy meds since 2013. And life is great. No. 2012 is when I got off the meds. Because I got diagnosed in 2012 and that was just a 30-day supply. So 2012, I got diagnosed, got put on the meds. I did the 30-day supply. I seen how it made me feel. Requested to get off of it. 2013 is probably when I had my last panic attack. So that's that. I thank y'all for listening to me and all that. There was something I wanted to say. What I want to say? What I want to say is, I don't want no man who is in the energy of dealing with insecurities and you're just not happy where you are. Please do not come towards me. Don't leave me all the way alone. Not halfway. Leave me all the way alone, okay? Because what I'm noticing is Okay? Because I show up the same way every time. My energy is the same every time. Of course, I'm human. I get upset. I have days that are different. But my energy, 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10, every time I'm consistent in the way I show up. I'm consistent in the way I fall the fuck back. Okay? Be consistent in how you show up. Okay? If you are not in a place, as a man, if you are not in a place where you are where you want to be in your life, don't take that shit out on me. Okay? It's not my fault. It's not my fault. It's not my fault that you may have missed opportunities to better yourself in your life. It's not my fault that you're so comfortable that you'd rather, and I'm just speaking, okay? If the shoe fucking fits, you better lace that bitch up and wear it, get to trucking. But I am literally just speaking in general. Just naming some shit that I've seen and heard that other people have seen. It's not our fault that you are a man who gets comfortable, okay? And maybe you might sling penis for a place to stay. You might think that the peen is good enough that that woman is going to be head over heels for you, and, you know, she's going to... Not all of us operate like that, you know? It's... The bottom line is, there are, and I'm not excluding the women, there are grown boys and grown girls in relationships or attempting to be in relationships that they should not be in. Because first and foremost, they need to build that relationship with themselves. A lot of these motherfuckers do not love themselves. So they are going to try to come into your world and shake your shit up. Me personally, I'm tired of that. I'm tired of that. Now, all my phones is on silent. Okay, they vibrate. But, like, all my shit is on silent. Okay, because sometimes I don't want to hear a beep, a tweet, a sound. Like, no. I'm tired of that shit. Okay, because then you got the people, this is for men and women, then you got the people who want to come in and make it seem like, not want to come in and make it seem like. You have the people that have the woe is me mentality. You have the people that are crying out for help, right? Which is all good. Like, if you need help, cry for that shit. Cool. The ones who's going here is going here, and they gonna come get you. They got you. Bam. But at the same time, you crying out for help in a situation that you put yourself in. I don't have no sympathy for people like that. I don't. No one thinks long term no more. No one thinks, hey, if I lay down with this man and have unprotected sex, I could possibly get pregnant, but yeah, I'm gonna do it anyway. Like, we don't think that far fucking head no more, people. We're not thinking that, hey, I have this good job, I'm making good money, but I'm gonna go and splurge every weekend. I'm gonna go hang out every weekend, and now I'm slacking on my bills. Oh shit, I'm evicted now. Like, we're not thinking that far ahead no more. We're not. Y'all ever seen that meme where it's a guy, it's a hand in a guy's face, and it says sometimes people just make you wanna, and then he's just like squeezing, smushing all his face, and like, that's what I want to do to some of you. Like, You gotta be kidding me. Like, we're not thinking that far ahead anymore. We're not thinking that. Furthermore, like, are we okay with not having a pot to piss in and a window to throw it out of? Are we okay with coming in and sucking people dry from draining them from their energy? Not like finance and stuff, sorry. But mentally draining someone and then just go ahead and moving on and like nothing happened on it. Like, I feel like I'm rambling. I feel like I'm rambling. But literally, like, we're not thinking that far ahead anymore these days. It's like, what is wrong with people? And I'm not looking for an answer to that question because I know what's wrong with people. Some people have it and some people don't. You know, some people are okay with being in stuck energy. Some people are comfortable being uncomfortable. You know, some people get comfortable too quick, and that can very well be the roots of their issues because they're getting comfortable in places and spaces that they should not be comfortable in. Come on, y'all. Like, and I'm not here to let me rephrase. I would like to encourage people to hop on board and become more aware. But again, I can't make anybody, you know? I can purchase the fucking rehab center, but I cannot make you go to rehab. You're gonna have to want to do it. Oh my God. Anyways, thank y'all for hanging out with me today. What it is, what it do with the woo woo. It is me, it is her, it is she, it is I, it is Miss Tamika Renee Bly. Okay? And if you are someone who is coping and struggling, or know someone who is coping and struggling with anxiety, panic disorder, I ain't no doctor. I'm just tell you what I did. I remember to breathe. Like, and not just I did like the Lamaze class breathing because it works. It works. Literally. Like, I don't know if it'll work for you if you're someone who's struggling with it, but it worked for me. The pregnancy breathing works when you are experiencing a panic attack. Also, too, what helped me to further stop having the attacks is I just think about positive things. When I used to feel a panic attack come on, I would think about my son. You know, I think about my mom and, oh, I saw this nice little chain that I want to get her. And, like, I'm thinking about stuff that made my soul happy, you know. And it took some time because it was literally like, for my panic disorder, how I would put it is, it was literally like the positive and the negative fighting against each other, and every positive thought that I was trying to pull to the front, the negativity was coming in like full force. So I had to learn how to quiet the negative side of my brain down, or completely shut it down during that time. Like, I literally had to tell myself, like, I remember being on the train on my way to work. I remember being on the train, the red line from Ashmont, and a panic attack just hits me. But I remember, like, I was struggling so bad inside to quiet it down. Like, I literally, when I'm on a train, when I was on the train having the attack, I wasn't doing I'm in my head literally trying to coach myself, like, you're fine. You're fine, Tamika. Look out the window. That's why I used to always enjoy window seats, because I felt, for me, looking out the window while I'm on the train or the bus, would distract me from having the attack. And it worked sometimes. But when I started to realize that, damn, you being on the train, breathing all hard and shit like that, like, it's gonna draw attention. So now I'm coaching myself silently. Again, you're okay, Tamika. Just breathe. You're about to get off soon. Nothing's gonna happen. Because in the panic, with the panic disorder, was the fear of what if something happened and I don't know which way to go. Where's the exit? That was always my thing, being in closed spaces, especially trains. Like, I don't like to feel like I'm in a box. Or I didn't like to feel like I was in a box. It's a different time. Like, it's different. I don't have those panic disorders now. And I know how to get the fuck out if I need to get out. If it's danger, is all I'm saying. Yeah, so I'm coaching myself. And I started to notice that me listening to that little voice inside my head, which is my voice, my calm, cool, everything's gonna be alright voice, it made me feel better. It brought me a sense of peace, that knowing that I'm able to get myself through this. You don't need to take them pills. You know what I mean? You can get through having these panic disorders by yourself. So much so that I got rid of mine. I'm sure, like, if something happened, a real major life changing episode, I don't know, I can probably have another one. You know what I mean? You never know. That's the thing with the panic attacks, with the anxiety. Like, especially if you have panic disorder, you don't know when an attack is about to happen. For me, I started to also get the sense and feel for when an attack was coming on. And it started first with me having this distorted reality. Like, it was times I literally felt like I was outside of myself. It's so weird. Like, if you can relate, then you know what I mean by that. Like, that's all I can say. It felt like I was outside of myself. So yeah, like, I've mastered being able to coach myself down, from having episodes, which is also why I feel today I approach things that would or should ruffle my feathers. I approach them in a calm manner, because there are times where I'm afraid the blow up might cause me to have an episode because I'm getting so worked up. So I don't get myself worked up. Again, I'm human. I get upset and all of those things just like you. But I'm not having smoke come out my ears. You know what I mean? I'm not... What is that? You know what I mean? Now, we get gangster, we keep it cordial. However you want to do it is what the man said. But I learned how to, talk myself out and calm myself down when one of those attacks would come on. And again, I'm no longer diagnosed with it, so it feels good. Like, it's really a good feeling. And again, thank y'all for tuning in. I hope I shared something that was relatable to you. If it resonated, take what resonates and leave the rest. And again, I thank y'all for tuning in. What it is, what it do with the whoop whoop. Uncomfortable conversations. Like, subscribe, share, tell a friend and tell a friend. And I'll see y'all next time. I got a pocket full of sunshine. I got a